host Zachary Hightower.
Welcome to Knife Reviews. I'm Joshua Hightower, and this is my partner, Evan Hightower. He wants to let everybody know he's got an awesome costume, his Michelangelo mask, and his nunchuck. I've been gone for 2 or 3 weeks. I've had a lot of real life stuff going on, so I haven't been able to get some videos done. I did a video a couple days ago, but my GoPro, something happened to it, all the sound was gone. Anyway, we want to go ahead and get going, and we wanted to do a special knife, or a special on a knife. This is the Blind Horse knife, or now the Battle Horse knife Scout, Pathfinder Scout. This is the Battle Horse, or this one's actually the Blind Horse, but now they're obviously from Battle Horse Pathfinder Scout knife. It is 5/32 inch thick 01 tool steel. It has a 5.5 inch blade. It's 10 7/8 inch overall length. It's a saber grind. It does have a lanyard hold. It comes with a leather sheath, just a very generic, nothing special about it. What I like to look for is the balance in the knife. You always want to find the balance of the blade and the handle, so you know you learn how to use it. And for some reason, you can see it curves out, and it's very thick right here. That tang thickens or widens out, and for me, that puts it off balance. It doesn't want to cut forward. It always wants to fall backwards in your hand, and that's just an initial thought about it. We'll see how that affects it as we go forward. As with all of our bushcraft knives, we want to do 5 categories: chopping, batoning, cutting, feather sticking, spine scraping, and ferrule rod usage. And what I've decided, because I get questions about it all the time about fit and finish, so I've decided that I'm going to add a 6th category that will give between 0 and 10 points on fit and finish. Obviously, that's just about how the handle is, how it feels, how the handle is ground, how it's shaped, the geometry of the handle, and then just the aesthetics of it. Can you tell that it's hand ground, or can you tell that it's machine ground? You know, how does that all come together? And that's the fit and finish, and we're going to go ahead and start scoring that from now on. Batoning. Very interesting. So I found that it chops really well, but that weight distribution problem where it's so back heavy, you see that to balance it, I'm having to put really far back to get it balanced, and if I get up where I want it to balance at, it falls out of my hand backward. Usually at the end of one of these I'll say, well, you want to test edge integrity and make sure it's still sharp. Which it is. It's very, very sharp. It's gonna cut stuff. You know, anything with a good edge is gonna cut stuff. So it's kept that edge. But and I don't know if we're gonna be able to see this, but right in front of where my finger is at, there, and there, know if we can see that very well, but there's these little just chips, you know, microchips. So, you know, it's still sharp, but there's some chipping on it, and that's kind of disappointing. I can't say for certain that it's the knife or the heat treat, because my flat ground one did not do that. But you know, it's a $300 knife, and you would expect it not to chip on you. And I've not sharpened it. I've done nothing to this knife, so it can't be anything that is, you know, all you've seen is me chopping and batoning with it. To score it, just out of how it did on chopping and batoning, very generic. It does the job. It'll get the job done, but it's very brutish. But it doesn't do it like a BK2. It kind of plowed through it just because it's so big. It just pops stuff out. This is big, but it didn't just plow through stuff. It was very labor intensive. So we're going to give it a 7 out of 10 on chopping and batoning. So it's cutting okay. It's not bad. I can tell you right off the bat, it cuts wood way better than it cuts any other material. The rope, it struggled quite a bit on the rope. Wasn't impressed. It did okay with the 550 cord, and I always like to try to shave the 550 cord because it'll tell you what kind of edge it has. And then on this tin can, I know you don't usually cut tin cans, but it kind of just bent it out. And we've got another little chip that developed right. I'm trying to see if we can show it on here. So it's one of these knives that you really want to like. It's a big piece of steel. It's got a Blind Horse logo on it, so you want to like it. But it cuts wood really well. I will give it that. It cuts wood. You're gonna cut any piece of wood you want. You're gonna cut it. But it just didn't cut great. It didn't blow me out of the water with the way it cut. So for grading it, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 on cutting. Feather sticking, very easy, very fluid cuts. We're going to give it a 10 out of 10 on feather sticking. So with this little magnesium bar, spine scraping, 10 out of 10. It does a very good job of that.
Big one. Dada, put your arm away. Put down there. Dada.
I have to give it now a fit and finish grade. And for me, the fit and finish is, how does it look? How does it feel? To me, it scores very, very low on how it feels. It feels off balance. The handle is not particularly well made. It's a plain micarta that is not contoured for your hand, and it's got a very generic shape. And you can tell it's machined. It's not hand done. It's not hand polished or anything like that. It's just machined out very, very quickly. And I think that's just the way they want it to look. I don't particularly enjoy that look. And why does that matter? Well, why does that matter? It doesn't necessarily matter if you're paying $150 for the knife. This would be a very, very good deal for a $150 knife. Here's the problem. It's a $300 knife. I sit here with all these knives and I try to tell you at $250 or $150, this is a good deal. This might not be a great knife for a $300 knife, but at $150, it's a great knife. It's something that you can go out and spend $150 on and you'd be well served for it. This is a $300 knife. It is not a very good $300 knife. And we'd appreciate if you have a chance to go and subscribe and like our Facebook page. Both are knife reviews on Facebook and YouTube. We have an email address at knives@knifereviews.us. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, email us, comment. We'll get to it as soon as we can. Once again, we really do appreciate you spending your time here. We know there's tons of other stuff you could be doing, and we just want to give you basic knowledge on what you get when you pay for something. That's what we're trying to do. So we really appreciate you being here. For Evan and I, we just like to say, stay safe and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You first turned it down.
Yeah, say bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.